We are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Today is, oh, it's live on my Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome
Hi,
in.
everybody.
Today is May the 10th. This is episode 6. This is our special Mother's Day episode where we are featuring Tureka Grande Beauty Watson. She is here to join us today looking as beautiful as ever. And as you all know,
Thank
this
you.
is in conjunction with MEC. You are welcome, which is also known as MEC. Just to let you guys know a little bit about MEC. MEC works to stabilize, protect, connect, sustain, and grow music education and resources for all persons in performance to ensure the quality of life. As we all know, MEC represents the Chattahoochee Valley area, and it helps to form a bridge between artists and the community. That goes for every artist, whether it be music, whether it be poetry, whether it be canvas art, whether it be musicians. We work to build resources and build a bridge so that everybody can work together and we can work to keep artists in the actual community and raise up young artists so that they'll be more encouraged to stay and enrich the community around us. So, just a little bit about the layout of the show. We like to start off telling a little bit about MEC, which we just did, and then we give our special guests a little room to tell us about themselves and what brought them to the area, or if they grew up to the area, and how it enriched their life and how it enriched their artistry. Just to give a little introduction, a lot of people might be familiar with Miss Grande Beauty. She is very, very famous around the area of Columbus, Georgia. She is an immensely talented poet. I have had the honor of watching her perform a couple of times, and I am a fan. She also is an influencer. She's going viral multiple times on TikTok and other platforms, just being herself and being hilarious, which she always is. She also makes jewelry. I am sporting some of her earrings today. So you guys gotta see me get a little close up so you can see them. Okay, that's before I swore it for you, girl. But she's also a mother, and happy belated Mother's Day to you. And she also
Thank
represents
you.
artist. She's a recording artist. She has albums out. Author as well. She just is covering so many realms of artistry. I can't even list them all, y'all. Like I might even be missing some stuff. You know what I mean? But she represents the female community very, very well. I'm very proud of her and how far she's come and what all she represents. She's also an overall good person, always sweet and always a joy to be around. So I'm
Thank
going to give
you.
her the floor to tell you guys a little bit about herself and anything that she might want to share. So the floor is yours.
Girl, I don't know what's left to say. I am I'm still coming in clear, right? I want to make sure. Man,
Yeah,
I'm so much.
yes.
I love that question because I always get it, and the first thing I always start off with is I'm a mommy, I'm a sister, I'm an auntie, because all that stuff come first before you hit a mic or before you do any type of interviews. I'm a lover to the deserving, sister to so many people. I love what I do. Poetry is my life. It is my love. It's my expression of how I express myself, it's my therapy. And that's one of the things that get me through. I became an author this year and finally published my poetry because that's something I've been wanting to do that since I was a kid. Ever since I met Maya Angelou. So those are my inspirations. The people that I look to as far as the artistry, Maya Angelou, Emily Dickerson. Then when it came to the musical influence, as far as my artistry, I have to thank people like Floetry and Jill Scott and Erica Badu. It's so much, it's so much that I can name, but poetry is it. Yeah, being a poet.
So tell us a little bit about how you started your journey. Like, where'd you grow up and how'd you start off?
Well, I started in Columbus, Georgia. Born and raised in Columbus, Georgia. As far as the writing, that started in elementary. I've been here all of my life. I couldn't think of living anywhere else until I felt like my poetry was stalling here. Because sometimes you can't go any further than where you are. And people would always tell me at the beginning of my career, you got to get out of Columbus. You got to get out of Columbus. And I always used to be like, no, I don't, because people look at me and they get me to where I need to be. So I just felt like, nah. But then when I just felt like it wasn't expanding the way I wanted it to, and when I saw the poetry circuit that's in Atlanta, and in areas like Charlotte where there's poetry every day of the week, then I was like, well, maybe I might need to do something. I might need to move. But Columbus is my heart, just born and raised. And I can truly say I wouldn't be where I am as an artist without Columbus, because Columbus is where I first hit the stage. It's where I had my first shot.
Yes, ma'am. So what was your first performance? Where did you perform first? Like, how old were you, and who encouraged you to do it? Who encouraged you to just get on stage and just say your first poem?
Ooh, I said my first poem in school. I don't remember exactly what age I was, but I can say as a adult in life, the first person that gave me my shot and gave me my chance to get a mic and put my face on the flyer was a poet by the name of Venom, Bernice Brown. And it was at the F&W Control Tower. And I wasn't ready. I was nervous. I was like, well, yeah, I wasn't ready. Now I delivered, but it was just that feeling like, we are our own worst critics as far as artists. And I was just like, ooh, that was And at that time, my love for poetry, because of the relationship I was in, it wasn't what it was. It just was draining. It took my love for poetry away from me, and I kind of set it down for a long time after that. And I think I was 27 at that time. I was 27.
So what was it about? Do you remember what the title?
It was a poem called Voluptuous, because I wrote Voluptuous, I think, when I was like 17 or 18. And it just came from the Maya Angelou Phenomenal Woman, because I had never heard a poet. And I heard Phenomenal Woman when I was in the 9th grade in my English class. And I had never heard a poem where a woman was celebrating her size or celebrating not being so cute to certain people, even though she knew she was, the bomb to herself. So I, in turn, kind of internalized that, and it took my poetry to another level. And I was like, you know what? I want to speak like that. I was like, I want to speak about loving yourself no matter what, and being a plus size vixen. I want to speak about that. So it was a poem called Voluptuous.
Come on, plus size vixen. I like that now. I might have to steal that for myself, honey. But
Yes, use
so I want to stay
it.
there. Yes, I will. I like that. But I want to stay there a little bit because you talked about how you put down poetry for a minute. And I feel like that happens to a lot of people, but I want to stay on the female verge because, we talking about us right now. And I've had those moments too where I kind of set down my artistry based off of where I was and off of relationships and where I thought I would be and not really believing in myself at the time and being like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe it's not really where I'm supposed to be. So I feel like we need to talk to that a little bit because a lot of females go through that, like whatever they offer, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be just being a speaker or a life coach. The people, like, that's literally your gift, you know what I mean? And I say that because I've seen you do it, you know what I'm saying? You speak life into people. So what do you say to that poet or to that person that doesn't have the strength or the courage in that moment to get up
out of the space that they're in? Like, what kind of advice do you give to that person?
Whew. I don't know if it's really anything I can say, because I can say for me, it just came back because let me put it this way. I feel like God has a timing where he just sits you down in a place, and at that time you don't even realize that you're growing as an artist, but you're just sitting there. You feel like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not feeding my artistry. I'm not feeling it. But at that time, God is really making you sit there so you can come back. And when you come back strong. Because I know I have, like, even within the last two, like maybe year and a half, maybe two, I was doing poetry, but I was just doing it to doing it, because that's, people were booking me, people wanted me to do it, but I wasn't feeling it. My heart wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling inspired. It was a lot going on. It just felt like, I even got to a point where I just didn't want to perform. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be around chaos. I didn't want to be around drama. And it just made me just sit. And then it made me think. And one day I just started picking back up the pen, and I was expressing my feelings, and I was expressing how I was feeling about situations, about people, about myself, how I needed to elevate. So I think if they're sitting there, just know this is what I would tell them. If you're sitting there, know that you're not just sitting there because you don't have the passion. The passion is still there. But I just really feel like God is sitting you down so he can feed and talk to you. And you can just, all the frequencies are clearing for you to be a better artist when you come back out and resurface.
Man, because I can speak from being a lyricist because I write mostly, I don't necessarily call myself a poet because, I've never said my poetry in front of people. I just let other people sing it. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of anxiety that goes into writing out your feelings and writing out your inner thoughts, because you feel like, that's like your diary. Like, everybody knows the true you once you share this and once you tell everybody and once you like speak this out. So there's a lot of power in speaking that out too. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy that I have you on here, because there are a lot of poets, and there are a lot of female poets that don't necessarily get the push to do that, because there are a lot of people that don't really understand the importance of it. So they'll sit them down or try to sit them down, like you say, you know what I'm saying? And be like, no, well, maybe you should do this, or maybe you shouldn't do this, or maybe you shouldn't get up on stage, or maybe you should just write it down and then try to put it out another way. You know what I mean? So, and that, you said that, you looked around like, oh, I know that. But what is, like, I really want you to speak to her, because a lot of times young girls really don't have support systems. And I speak about that a lot on this platform, and how the support systems aren't really out there for artistry and the type of art that we perform and that we do. So how do you still thrive in that type of atmosphere?
Honey, I say this all the time, and I talk about it all the time. Women artists, we have to work. We have to work, especially if you aren't the type to sleep with anybody to get ahead, to do a little something strange for a piece of change. We have it hard. And I always tell artists, I'm like, male artists have a different support system than us. And I've seen it. I've seen it in this city. I've seen where they'll have somebody walk in with them. They have somebody take their pictures for them. They have somebody taking the money at the door for them. They have somebody selling their CDs. This chick over here, like, they have a whole team of chicks ready and willing to support them. And when we come, most of the time, most of us women artists, we're alone. Unless we got a sister friend with us, or a classmate, or somebody support another woman artist with us, we're alone. We do. When I go to shows, I have to make sure the DJ has my music. I see where I'm gonna sit. I'm by myself. I make sure my hair right. I make sure we don't have that support. And that's just the truth. I even know women artists who are in relationships and they're always alone. We don't have that support, and it's sad. You know, I know dudes in the city, women pay for their studio times and everything. We are alone. And even most of the times when it's offered to us, like somebody say, hey, I do this for you. And then next thing you know, they flirting with you or they trying to take you out. Then you be like, I thought you just had in your heart to help me, you know? So it's so disheartening. And I wish women had the most support here. And I wish we would support each other and truly support each other. None of that fake stuff. None of that just to show face type of stuff. I'm talking about truly support each other. There is no reason that any woman artist in this city should not have each other's stuff on each other pages to push it out there. Now, if you don't like, now I'm gonna say, if you don't like what they do, that's fine, because I know everybody doesn't like my poetry, and it's just common sense. It doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with me. There are people who gravitated towards me because of my energy. They don't necessarily want to hear me say anything about poetry. There are people like me because I'm funny. There are people that like my earrings. But at some capacity, support somebody. Now, if you don't like the way they sing, you don't like the way they do their poetry, you don't like the way they rap, I get it. But if you're in this person's face and you like, oh, I just love you, I just love everything you do, and you hugging and kissing and we taking pictures together at the event, why you not supporting me? Why are we not supporting each other? Why are we doing this at events and hugging on each other and taking pictures to post on Facebook, but you don't have my flyer to my next event? You don't have, I mean, I'm just real about things. And if I really say I love you, I'm going to support you. I'm going, unless you only person can mess that up is you. You know what I'm saying? But if they see us supporting each other, they will support us. They be like, well, what they got going on? They got a whole caravan of just support each other. You know, so that's how it is. I'm a true supporter. There have been shows where people hit me up and I'm like, well, and when I was in my funk, when people would hit me up, I would say, hit Breeze, hit Let Her Z. You know, I would send them to other poets. It wasn't me, well, I can't do it, and I just shut it down and don't even, refer anybody because I don't want to do it. Or I feel like, well, they're not better than me. That's not, send them to somebody else. If you can't, you can't sing at every gig. Every hairstylist can't do everybody here in Columbus. Don't be selfish. Spread the love. Support each other for real, not for pictures on Facebook, not for Instagram, not for the live. Support each other for real. Because I think if we do it, everybody else will fall in line. Because we know the rappers in the city, they're gonna beef regardless. But I think women support the tone. I think we set the tone, and supporting each other is what we need to do, because we really do get along. I always tell people, don't believe the hype. Black women get along. We do. Now, we don't take mess off each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't take mess off each other. Now, we're going to put each other in each other's places, but we don't take it to the extreme like we want to shoot each other after the events and stuff. And we'll smile and keep it cordial, but we ain't going to act a fool. And I think that says a lot to just us as women. We don't cut the fool or none of that stuff that people try and make us out to be. Now, if I don't care for such and such, I'm going to speak and go on about my business, but I'm not going to be, because I've seen some stuff, and I'm pretty sure you've seen some things at these shows, and I'm like, well, they just doing the most. But that's all I got to say. Let me hush. Support each other, period.
We keep it 100 on this show. This is what's needed. People need to understand the real and what comes behind this. Like, it's 100% necessary. Right. Because I speak a lot about what you just said, because a lot of times people try to make it, especially amongst people like that look like us, like especially Black women, they try to make it seem like a dog eat dog world out here. And it's really not. And you go to other music cities, like you mentioned, and you see them all working together and pulling each other along and being like, hey, girl, why don't you come on stage with me? Or they'll even call you up there and be like, oh, my friend's here. Come on up here, girl, and like sing something. Like, even if you shine like, no, girl, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? They still like supporting you and still come on up here, like, let everybody see what you're doing. And then you come. I'll be honest and say I mainly see it like more so down here, where people will just be like, if you ain't doing this, somebody else will. And if you're not just paying attention to your own unique talent, you know what I'm saying, and what you have to offer, because everybody has something individually to offer the art, and it's needed. Like every individual talent is needed in the art. Because if everybody was the same, then what are we actually like contributing to the art? You know what I'm saying? We're not contributing anything. I'm not really necessary if I'm just gonna be a mold, you know what I'm saying, of what's already there.
Yes.
Just like you said, like Maya Angelou is also one of my inspirations. Like I love her. And she actually contributes to a lot of my lyricism, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things that I loved about her was when she said, when somebody shows you who you are, believe them. Girl, I live by that.
Believe them.
I live by that. In every realm of life, I live by that. Even in my professional life. Because if you show me that you don't support me, I believe you. I believe you 120%.
Yes.
And I'm not going to force you to do that. You know what I mean? Because that's your prerogative. That's what you're choosing to do. And that's cool. Like I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, as you said. But I do believe that if we support each other and I'm like, hey, you offer something that I don't, even like say I'm in the studio and I call you along, like I might not know the exact words to say on this song. I know where I want to go, but you speak better than me and you're better with lyrics. Can you come and help me? Like, sure, girl.
Right.
But also in that same sense, pay me what I'm worth. When I come in, give me my credit. Like, do everything that I'm supposed to do, and we can come up together. Because you're supposed to, like Issa Rae said, use your peers to elevate together. You don't necessarily have to reach up to get pulled up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can all come up together. We can all walk up the stairs together. So I completely agree with everything you just said right there, because we do tend to be pit against each other way more than the average Joes. Like, no, girl, you got to do this, or you got to be a little sexier if you gonna do this, or and when you are a lady of a certain stature, because every woman is beautiful in their own right, but when somebody is more so attracted to you than you are to them, they will shoot that shot, to say the least, and be like, hey, so oh my God, praying, talking to Jesus, is that weird today?
Right.
But let's talk about some of your partnerships and some of the things that you do around Columbus, because I know you do partner with a lot of musicians around Columbus, and you do have shows with musicians all the time. So do you, I also know that you tour a lot. You go to a lot of different cities and you speak there, and you do your thing. So do you prefer having like a track behind you? Do you prefer being put on the spot? Like, do you prefer just writing in your own little nook and like getting it out there? Like, what do you prefer as far as performance goes?
As far as performing goes, because I always call myself an experienced, entertaining poet. Because if you see my show, I do it with the music, or and as far as let me touch on the inspiration, because girl, I'm 40 and I be forgetting questions by the time. But as far as my inspiration, it is usually my true life, my true story, and it comes to me in waves. And I remember Jill Scott said, because people were pressuring her, like, when's your next album? When's your next album? She was like, I'm a poet. Like, it comes to us different. Like, if there's nothing going on or no inspiration coming to me, then I cannot do it. I can't just write, and if I write, it's not gonna mean nothing. And I remember when I came on to Monster Music, I was the first poet to come on to the label, and they had rappers. They had rappers and they had R&B artists. So what they were used to was getting in the studio, putting on the beat, and all of them sitting in there, and they replaying the beat, and they just write loud. And so CJ thought that, like, that's what I did, was get in there and write. And I was like, no, I have to swim in it. And there have been tracks that I'll get and I'll hear one thing, and then something inspired me to write something else to the track. Because poets just write different. Like, we don't write for fantasy. We don't write about our Lambos and mansions and stuff that we don't have. We write about true hurt. We write about true happiness. We write about our babies. We write about friends. You know, we write about enemies. We write about true life. I've even written about abusive relationship. I never been in one, but just having a cousin to be murdered gave me that inspiration to write about it. But as far as you know, as far as the COVID thing going, it slowed down everything, but it was okay because I was sitting down. So when it came and I wasn't doing anything, it really didn't affect me much mentally. I wasn't like a lot of artists who was like, man, everything need to open back up. I'm ready to, because I was like, I'm sitting down anyway. I'm chilling. So now that it has opened back up and I am getting the shows and I'm happy now. I'm in a different space now to where I can mentally be out there, because at the beginning of my career, when I first started, when I was like 30, 31, and I was out and I was in Atlanta every weekend, I was doing shows in North Carolina, South Carolina. I wasn't mentally ready, but I was on go as far as, because I was just excited. And I was like, ooh, I'm ready for my career to take off. They was giving me big platforms. I was doing for Sisters Only. I was doing the car shows in Atlanta. And I'm the only, either if I'm, in Atlanta, it's either all poets or it's something dealing with poetry. Whereas in Columbus, I'm usually, unless it's a poetry event, I'm the only poet that's on the agenda. But up there it's so different. And then when I'm getting booked in other places, I'm usually the only poet. But I love it because I just love being on the road. I love going. I want it to be more consistent, but it's the poetry thing. I want to do what you and Karita was doing. Let me get in the background and say some poetry while somebody's saying something. But I love that part. And as far as the inspiration, it just comes from, as far as being a poet, it just comes from the heart. So that's where I get my inspiration from. And sometimes I've had poems wake me up out my sleep at 2 a.m. I hear it as I'm sleeping and I'm like, ooh, or the feeling that hit me, the sorrow will hit me, the happiness will hit me, the intimacy will hit me. I'm saying intimacy. The intimacy will hit me. And you just wake up and you get to writing,
How does motherhood inspire your poetry or inspire your journey?
Say that again.
Could play a part in it. How does that inspire your poetry or your journey?
I heard the first part. You said somebody inspired the poet. You broke up a little bit at the beginning.
I said, how does motherhood play a part in your journey? How does that inspire it? Being a mother.
Okay. Oh, being a mother. Oh, because I do every CD that I have done, my 2 CDs that I've done, and my book, I make sure I put a poem in there about my son, because it's a beautiful thing. And I asked God before I had him, because I didn't think I could have kids. I was like 25, and it's crazy that the stigma is, especially like in the Black community, if you haven't had a child by a certain point of time, like, what's wrong with you? Or can you not have kids? So I was like, dang, I probably can't have kids. And I had been with his dad, which, was my husband at the time. We had been together 3 years. And I'm like, maybe I can't have kids. And what I had in my heart, I was like, well, maybe I'm just meant to be a mother to the motherless. Maybe that's what God put me here for. Because I would always have people, kids, my cousins, neighbors, and I would just love on them, like have people kids for days. And I loved it. I was like they were my children. And I was like, okay, that's what my mission is here. And I popped up pregnant with Zarian, and I couldn't believe it. And it was such a fulfilling. Like the moment I found out he was in my womb, I was like, I was in mother mode. I changed what I ate, because it's like I was taking care of him. I was like, I didn't drink sodas. I just changed. I lost 40 pounds when I was pregnant with him, because I changed everything I ate, because I was like, I'm not gonna get after him. So just loving him loving me, I was just like, this is the most amazing. It's like you don't have to question your child's love. You don't, no matter how bad they can act up, or when they don't do their work in school or whatever, you know they love you, but it's just undescribable. So that's how motherhood really has inspired me to write, because just him being in my womb, coming from me, and seeing him grow is amazing. So I cannot not write a poem about him, and I usually do. A lot of them I don't put out, but for sure on the CD, if I'm doing a CD, Zarian has to go on there, just like God.
Right. Girl, you just inspired me just then. I'm over here, my heart just full. Listening to that, I'm over here just like feel the love through, I'm just like, yes, just like, girl, because you are hitting on a lot of points that I'm really glad I had you on. Because a lot of people, first of all, a lot of people have been like, when are you gonna have a woman like on? You have all these men on. Like, when is women gonna come on? I was like, calm down.
Oh, so I'm the first woman?
Like, she is coming. Yes, ma'am. Where's the crown, queen? Yes, you are.
Honored.
Yes, you are. But for good reason, girl. For good reason, because I really wanted women that I felt like represented what I feel like I represent in this world. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanted women who I felt like had a love for their craft. And like I said, I've experienced you, and I've experienced your art. I've experienced you perform. And I remember the first time I ever saw you perform, it was at the Suite. And you just got up and you were like, okay, y'all, I like literally can see the scene right now. And you got up and you were like, okay, y'all, I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm about to tell y'all a little poem. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. But you just went into, it's like you went into a trance and just became the poem. You know what I mean? Like, you embodied the poem, and you literally had me just engulfed. And anytime I can see, that's pure artistry. Like, take me into your world. Like, let me experience everything that you like have to offer in this. And I was like, oh, I like her. Like, anytime she performed, let me know, because I will watch it. And I remember like watching your lives and being like, yes, ma'am. And you and Takara would do things where she would like sing behind you, and I would watch that, and like, hey, she is like inspired. And you really do remind me of Jill Scott like a lot. Just how you just bring people in, and everybody is just like staring at you, like you take over a room. And that's what I want people to understand about what it is to be a woman, and not just a woman, but a Black woman, because I truly believe that we do embody something that a lot of, people just don't have. I feel like we do embody, we are regal, and we can just take over a full room and bring you in and like help you experience what it is to live in our lives and what it is to be us. Because it takes a lot to like hold this head and hold this crown and hold our head up and still hold all this and walk through the day like nothing is going on around us. And to be able to put all of that in your artistry and to bring people in and for them to all see and embody it with you and go on that journey with you is a whole talent, girl. So I was strategic in asking you to be on this show, because I was like, if I get anybody, it needs to be her, because I have literally experienced it. I can't wait for other people to experience it. Like, because if you haven't seen her speak or say her poetry, like, or perform, because it's a performance, it's a whole experience, really. Like, it's really a journey. And like, if nobody has ever told you this, like, I'm proud of you personally, because it's not an easy, girl, you are welcome, because it's not easy to like really embody your work like that and to do it with such confidence and such grace, because people do get scared. Like, I get scared every time, but I say, like, when the lights come on, it's like action, you know what I'm saying? All right, time to go. And it's something that like takes you over, but everybody can't do it, you know what I'm saying? It's truly a purpose, and I really believe that. So when I got you on here, I wanted people to see that as well, and just to see your light, because you really have one. Like, you light up whole room when you walk in. and you ready to read
Oh,
it.
girl, baby. What?
Yeah, just to give you your flowers. Just to give you your flowers, yes. But I also want to talk about you going viral, ma'am, because you go viral all the time. And that's another reason why you can tell that you just have a light, because you go viral multiple times a year. What is your secret?
Big B. Let me tell you, it's a that viral stuff y'all do not understand. Like it's you don't realize it's how can I explain it? I always explain it this way, especially like when one of my Facebook posts will go viral. It's literally like people you don't know coming up to your screen door, peeking in and just shouting stuff at you, saying, because some people nice, some people laugh. It's like when I say controversial stuff, like, because I speak up for women a whole lot or whatever, or say something. And, you have people that come and you got all these different energies. What we have to realize when we're on social media, we're dealing with a lot of energies. And sometimes I have to take myself away and I have to close myself off. That's why a lot of times I don't respond to comments right away. I respond to them 3 days later because I don't come back to the post, or I'm taking a break, or I'm somewhere else because it's draining. And if you read the comments, or people literally like inbox you and go off, so when you get the stuff that's just funny and people just like, oh, that's funny, and they want to share it, those the good times. When you say something that people don't agree with, oh, get ready. Get ready, because they're gonna come in the comments, they're gonna share it and say stuff. It's a lot. And if you're not strong-minded, you don't need just be quiet, because there's a lot of people that are like, they're on Facebook, they'll post every now and then, or they're very careful about what they post. They don't like them. But I'm a poet, so I'm used to speaking my mind. And then on TikTok, I'm funny, I do a funny skit or whatever, because there's so many sides to me. I'm not one-dimensional. I'm not serious. A lot of people, I love when people get to know me for themselves. My mom always say this: there ain't nothing better than that. Can't nobody tell you that. You can find out on your own. Find out about people on your own, because there's been people that'll meet me and they're like, I didn't think you was like. I was like, well, you don't pay no attention to me, because ain't nowhere in the world you thought I was whatever you thought, that I wasn't approachable, or I wasn't nice, I wasn't sweet. Now, I don't play about myself, but I'm not rude about that either. But that viral stuff, baby, you meet some of the most rudest people. And when people sit behind a computer, they throw some shots and daggers, and it's a trip. But it's a blessing and a curse, because people that probably came because of a viral post then said, oh, well, she does poetry. Oh, well, she does earrings. So it's a blessing and a curse, because the traffic leads other people to you. So I welcome it all, because I'm strong like that. So I just be like, it's whatever. I respond to, like, you just dumb. Then I'm be like, okay, so you came dumb. I just gotta make you look dumb. Okay, whatever. But I don't. And the funny thing about it's always the post I wouldn't think people pay attention to. I'm like, I put it up there now. Then when I look at it and I see it's going and going, I'm like, that post up, they paying attention to that. That's how I am every time. Like, I'm shocked. I didn't think. It's always a shock. But it literally is like you have to turn off your notifications. You have to just block it out, like it doesn't exist. Like, my followers have been going up these last couple of days, and I'm like, I wonder which one of my posts have resurfaced, because it'll be a post I said some 2 years ago, and because the date came back around again, and somebody shared it, and then it gets to roll again, and then people get to follow me, and people get to come in and I'm like, oh, which one of these posts these people didn't see? So you never know, and you never know. People are crazy. People are crazy. So you have to be careful. And I think about it often, because I am a public figure. And it's just it's just as simple as me putting out a flyer and somebody having a problem with something I said and showing up to a show. So yeah.
Not showing up to a show. So you need some security, is what you saying. You need to hire some security. Anybody out there want to be security? Hit her up in the DMs, you know, and come correct.
Thank you.
All right? Because you don't play that. Like, if you need me to be security, you know,
Right.
I can hard body it, you know, 1 or 2 times. But after that, I got to call on
Right.
you know.
That part.
Yes, girl, I am always shocked because you go viral. Like, it's not like normal viral. It's like 265K or like 1 million. And I'm like, jeez. Like, okay. And it's hilarious because I follow you on TikTok too. You know, I follow you everywhere. But, you know, one of the things that I do like you said, you have so many different, you know, levels to your personality, which is why I follow you on TikTok, because that's the funny side of you. That's when you just showing out, basically.
Yeah.
Like old people say, that's when you show out, you know. But I do love
Right.
you on Facebook too, because you say so many things, girl, that I agree with and that I want to say sometimes, but you know, I keep it down because just like you said, people will come in and just respond to you that you don't even know. And that happens to me a lot on Twitter.
Right.
Like, I joke with my friend Kennard all the time and tell him I'm a Twitter influencer, even though I only have 6 followers on Twitter. But I only have 6 followers, but I'll say a tweet that you think nobody will say, and I'll do a hashtag, and I'll go back on there and have like 70 comments and people responding. I'm like, I only have 6 followers, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So I can only imagine having 1 million people like see it. I can only imagine, because little old me just has like 40, and I'm already like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what it means, do you know what I mean? So, girl, hats off to you, 100%. You know what I mean? Because I always tell people, I don't have the personality to be famous. You know, like, I'm semi-famous. That's what I tell people. Like, I'm famous by association. Like, the people I'm around are famous, but me personally, like, you just know my face. You don't know my name. You know what I mean? So I'm just like,
right.
But to be fully there and to be frontline and stuff, I don't know if that's my ministry, because, you know, sometimes people will try it, and I've seen it happen in real time with, you know, some of the people I sing with. They have songs that really represent us and who we are, and people really don't like it, and they have their comments and they say things, and they're like, and it's harsh, like, it's like they went to the drawing board and like spoke that thing in the mirror first and then said it. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, you really put a lot of thought into that, huh? You okay, cool. So hats off to you. So you saying it's not a secret formula, just put out whatever you want, and then the thing you least expect to go viral.
It's the least things you expect. And I just, you know, and the funny thing about it, I've had several people, you know, tell me, like, years and years ago, be careful what you say. You know, you're a public figure, and, you know, I admire y'all. They could just hold it down and be like, you know what, I'm not gonna say that. I admire y'all so much. And I put yesterday for Mother's Day, I put up a post, you know, about my mama telling me to speak my mind, stand on what I say, don't back down. And I was like, it bite her in the butt sometimes, because she taught me that, and I do it with her. And I be like, no, mama, that ain't right. You know, I just, no, mama, no. And I don't back down. I'm like, I love you. You mama, I love you, but no. And I'm the same way on Facebook. And when I know I'm wrong, I'm gonna say like, nah, that okay. You like, if somebody come in my comment and say something that's logical, I'm like, okay, well, you got a point. But if I know what I'm saying is true, I'm gonna stand on it. And if you come to me with some crazy bull crap about Black women, period, I'm not going for that. No, we're not gonna dog Black women on my page, period. And I'm gonna stand up for women. So I'm like, I said, you know what? If somebody doesn't want to book me because of what I say, they don't need to book me, because they don't want me. They want an image of who they think I am. I'm not providing images for people. I'm Granddad. First, I'm Tureka Watson. And if you don't want neither one of them, don't book me, because that's who's coming. I'm I'm not finna do it. That's all. That's the only people I can bring is Tureka. When I sign that contract, it's Tureka Grande Beauty Watson. That's who's coming. The one that's my mouth. That's who. And that's another thing. I'm like, I am who I am on Facebook. I am who I am on Instagram. I am who I am on Twitter, on TikTok. So if you look at that and say, well, I don't want to book her because she did this, but you don't book me because I'm not coming as nobody else but me. So yeah, people will tell me that, you know, you might not get booked. Okay, don't book me. That's it. I want somebody to book me because they want me, not an image that they want to create of me, not because they want to dumb me down, hold me back. I'm like, I'm a poet. I'm a poet. I'm not an actress. I'm not, and you know, and I can get it even with the R&B, you know, but a poet, you expect poets to be, you know, and you know, go there. So, yeah.
You are speaking 100% facts right now, like 100%.
Yep.
And people like me appreciate it 100%. Like you preaching in here, you know what I'm saying? Seriously. So, do you want to say a poem at all? Do you want to bless us? You don't have to.
I can say something.
Hey, girl.
Oh, you want me to go now? Let me see which one I'm gonna do. Okay, I do this one. Is called What's Understood, and it's on my it's in my book. I just released my book called The Evidence of the Things Unseen, and this is actually one of the poems, and I did it for a soundtrack too. My book has a soundtrack, and this one is called What's Understood. Remember who you are. Remember how far you've come. Remember what from. The power you possess. Forget the rest, but rest, feel, grow, know. Know that you'll be antagonist to the weak, villain to those who seek to defame. Your name is like venom on their tongue. Even when you're right, they'll say you're wrong. Toxic cocktails mixed by spineless adversaries, spewing malice commentary. Devoted viruses that can only replicate inside a living cell to target the host. Victimizing victims, most spiteful, frightful of your greatness, despising your elevation, intruding and hijacking your space. They chase the chance to disgrace and erase your very being. You regret the day and how far I've come, but the grains of dirt that I've tread upon will have won because of my presence. I am forever present in your thought, but absent from your plans to bring me to your level. The devil in hell lied when he convinced you that you could defeat what God created in me. Those that declare war on me always end up as casualties because my Father don't play about me. No one acts deliberately. He makes my enemies flee. I have no time for hostility, so I bless thee. Everything that I touch is successful and thousands will agree. You don't have to like me, but you will do so respectfully. And that's poem.
That's right. I just know that's right. And I just took all that in. That was for me right there, girl. You just blessed my spirit. You know what I'm saying? You would do so respectfully.
Right.
And that's on.
Thank you. Like you don't have to. What people don't understand is everybody's not gonna like you. Some people just not gonna like you because of your aura. People are not gonna like you because of how somebody else feel about you, but that has nothing to do with you. What I have learned and what has gotten me through, like when you said, Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Believe it. But I think a lot of times we internalize how people are, and it's just their character. Now, do you have to put up with it? No. Does that mean you know, even if you had a person in your life, sister, friend, mama, daddy, if you make a choice not to deal with that person, it doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means you don't have the capacity to put up with who they are. Does it make them a bad person? No, but you don't have to deal with it, and it has nothing to do with you at all. So you just have to let it go, you know, and know that your decision to eliminate people from your life is for your well-being. It doesn't mean you have to harm them. You don't have to treat them any kind of. I can't mistreat people. It's just not in me. It's not in me. Like, and anybody tell you that have been friends with me. Now, if I don't have nothing for you, I don't have nothing for you. That's just point blank in the period. I don't, but it's a reason. Now, when people can sit up there and not like you, they have to find a reason. Like, people have to find reasons on not to like me. They either gonna lie on you or pull up some dumb reason. And it's people that have said they didn't like me because I did something I never did. I was like, well, you know what? You have to make up something because you'll sound dumb not liking me for no reason, because you don't have a reason and you have to grasp on to something. You know, it's crazy, but I've learned not to internalize it. And what I've learned, everybody's not gonna like me. I don't care how fabulous I think I am.
Yes.
40 people can say I'm sweet. It's gonna be somebody sitting there like she ain't. No, she ain't. That has nothing to do with me. So I encourage anybody out there, if people act a certain type of way and you don't understand it, it's not for you to understand. It's something internally within them. It's their character. It has nothing to do with you. You either deal with it or you don't. Not dealing with it doesn't mean you don't like the person, you don't love the person. That's just your choice. You are protecting your energy and your peace, and you have a right to do that. If they love you enough, they'll understand that. If they don't, that means they're a narcissist and they're full of themselves and they think that you should put up with their bull crap, and you don't. So yeah, that's why that was that whole point was about.
Huh? In my room at night? You be watching me?
But it's just the truth.
That's what it is.
I'm telling you, it's the truth, and that's why I say in that poem when I say victimizing victims, they victimize and then they the victims, and then the spewing toxic cocktails mixed by spineless adversaries, meaning they got to mix this whole cocktail about you and lies about you because they don't have a spine to stand on.
Hello.
Spewing malice commentary, meaning they got to talk about you amongst everybody. Devoted viruses, they can only replicate inside a living cell, meaning all these viruses got to get together to attack you, the host, because they can't do it alone. Child, let me stop preaching.
Girl, you better take me in. You about to make me shout now. I'm about to run off the camera. And I'm not gonna be here no more now. I done told you, you've been reading my diary. I'm convinced. But so you know, that's why I said this was for me. You were saying here, if you didn't feed anybody's soul in this here interview, you fed mine. And I want you to know that you have fed my soul. And as I said again, girl, I am proud of you. I'm very glad to even know you.
Thank you.
Because I feel like you are 100% necessary. And I am one that believes that, you know, we have to give each other our flowers. We really do. Like, somebody's in front of you, give them their flowers. You know what I mean? So you are necessary, and I pray that you continue to do this for as long as you grace this here earth, because you have your purpose. Like, it 100% is. Like, you are necessary, 100%, girl. Because you, not only are you beautiful on the outside, but you are definitely beautiful on the inside too. And you have a voice. You have something to say, and something that needs to be said. Because a lot of times people don't listen to the truth. You know, they don't want to hear it. And a lot of times you have to hear the truth through art. That's what we're here for. Artists are here to tell you the truth in a way that you will listen to it. Because we're not here to sugarcoat anything. Right. We're here to tell you about our lives and ways. At all. Because like my mom says all the time, our stories are not unique. You know, it's an individual story, but it's not unique. Meaning that somebody else has your story and can relate to everything that you're going through and everything that you have experienced. So if you don't say it, and if you don't give them something to relate to, you never know whose life you're going to save. Never. You just speaking could save somebody's life, and you do not know that. You know what I'm saying? There's been plenty of songs that saved my life. Like, and took me out of a moment. Took me out of something that I was like in, and I heard something that out there just like, you know what? Absolutely right. And I sing that until I come out of whatever it is. Even if I wrote it and I sing it over and over again and I come out of something. You know what I'm saying? So you are necessary. And I am so proud that you came onto my platform. Thank you so much for sharing this platform.
Thank you for having me.
Honored. Very much so. Again, she made these earrings for me. I was like, check them out. Hold on. Get into it.
Simply unique.
Yes. So tell them again, what's the name of your book?
The name of my book is The Evidence of the Things Unseen, and you can get it on Amazon. I can put a link up on my page once we're done, or you can buy it from me personally. Yeah, so most definitely get it. And you can go to my website, poetessgrandebeauty.com, and you can download the soundtrack to the book for free. And enjoy that. The poem I just did is on there, but it actually has the track playing in the back. Yeah, so you get into it. This was very, I could tell that I have grown so much. And I'm just so full. I'm so glad of the space that I'm in. And that I'm telling y'all don't love soundtrack. I featured Lamar, which is Nicholas Campbell. I featured Jamisa on one of my tracks. So yeah, this was awesome to put together, and I don't think anybody has ever did a book soundtrack. So I thought that would be so freaking dope.
Yes, it is. And you guys go and get that. Purchase her book. Please support our artists. Please support her. Get the soundtrack. You can get it for free. And when can you do that? But even still, send her something.
Right.
You know, support our artists. You know what I'm saying? Tell them again, what's the name of your jury line?
It is Simply Junique, and you can go simplyjunique.com. I have a few items on there. I have a Simply Junique group on Facebook you can join where I post exclusive items also, and follow me on Instagram. If you hashtag Grande Beauty anywhere, you will pull me up.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. 100%. She is also a model too, because she takes them pictures, y'all. Y'all don't even know. She takes them pictures. You see that face. You see that face. She gets down out here. And can they find your can they find your soundtrack on Apple Music and stuff, like your past soundtracks?
You know what? I exclusively have it on my website. I haven't put it on anything else. So I'm just pretty much running on my website.
Okay. So y'all go visit that website. You go visit, you have a personal page on Facebook. Tell them where they can find you.
Yes, you can find my, yes. If you hashtag Grande Beauty, you'll pull me up on IG, everything. Because I always hashtag it there. And on Facebook, Grande Beauty, GrandeBeauty.
Yes. And TikTok?
Oh Lord. It is Poetess Grande Beauty on TikTok.
Hey, it's hilarious. They need to follow her on TikTok. You would not be disappointed. I promise. She has me cracking up all the time. All the time.
Yes.
Go find her videos. You can find her videos all over Facebook. Let's get those views up. Let's get all of her likes up, you guys. Please support our artists and our poets out here, you guys. Buy her book because you won't be disappointed. You just heard that wonderful poem. So you see how rich she is with her words and how she really can touch any soul. And I'm sure that anybody can be inspired by, I'm sure the whole book, but I'm sure they'll find something that touches them personally.
Right.
And again, happy belated Mother's Day. I'm sure that you have
thank you so much
other artist mothers, and I'm sure you've inspired other women who are poets and who just don't know where to start off and everything, because it's a hard journey, but it's necessary, you know. And I'm just I needed you to come here and encourage, and you did just that. Again, I'm so honored that you shared this episode with me, our special Mother's Day episode. I'm so glad you look absolutely beautiful, and you are a beautiful person.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You too, girl.
Oh, thank you. You know, I try because, you know, I had nothing to do with this.
Look, well, I didn't look like this before I came on. I didn't look like this before.
But ain't God good? But ain't he good? You know.
Ain't he good?
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us in 2 weeks where we'll have another special guest joining us. Again, it is May the 10th, and this was episode 6. And hopefully we will have Miss Grande Beauty back again to discuss some other things.
Of course.
Future.
Anytime.
Yes. And thank you so much for representing the Chattahoochee Valley area in the great way that you do. And we'll see you guys later, everybody. Wait, did you want to say anything else before we leave?
No, I'm good. Thank y'all for tuning in, everybody. Share. And support Shanay. Support all the artists. Support Music Entertainment Council.
Yes. Please support us on the MEC page. Please get all these likes up. Please like, share, subscribe, do all those good things. And we love you guys. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.